Every 3 years, the best sailors on the planet compete in the world's toughest offshore challenge, the Volvo Ocean Race.
1, 2, go!
Stance.
For the 12th edition, 7 teams left Alicante, Spain, to cross 4 oceans and 5 continents over 9 months. It is the ultimate endurance test that all professional sailors dream of doing.
It's just relentless.
With a fleet solely composed of the Volvo Ocean 65, a boat designed to take on the most grueling offshore race. Crews are pushed to the limit in a competition that has never been closer. Battling 24/7, fighting storms, and defying the worst that Mother Nature can throw at them.
You get a beating out there.
Pushing the crews to a place where there is only a thin margin between winning the leg.
Fantastic, we're on top of the world. So proud of my team.
First win. Nice, very nice.
Or losing it all.
Holy shit, I can't believe this. I can't actually believe this happened.
This is their story. Leg 5 of the Volvo Ocean Race takes the boats from Auckland in New Zealand to Gybe, Brazil. With over 12,500 kilometers to sail, it's the longest leg of the race and one of the most challenging. The crews sail in the Southern Ocean, famous for its ice-cold temperatures and windy sailing conditions, before rounding the legendary Cape Horn on their way to Brazil. During the Southern Ocean leg, the teams have been asked to assist in gathering data for NOAA, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration.
Each of the boats in the Volvo fleet's been given a drifter buoy to deploy. Now, the background to this is that it's believed the Southern Ocean absorbs up to about 60% of the heat and anthropogenic CO2 that is produced. And what I mean by anthropogenic CO2, the CO2 that we as humans produce. So the Southern Ocean is a very important sink that is absorbing this CO2 and slowing the pace of global warming. However, it's having an impact on the ocean, and we need to understand that better. And I imagine it has salinity, sea surface temperature, barometric pressure, and because it has a GPS, it'll have drift rate. And so all of these things will be recorded. The buoy is quite low to the water, so there'll be no windage. So it has a drogue, and what it will record is the current speeds.
Will used to be a marine biologist, so he knows how important the research could be.
Feels like I'm back in my old job. It's the little things like this that actually end up over many years providing the stories that lead to the increase in understanding of our knowledge.
What have you built, Will? What is this? This is Sputnik.
Yeah.
we just trapped a satellite.
1, 2, 3, go. Okay, 2103.
Mapfre and Abu Dhabi Ocean Racing are also getting ready to launch their buoys.
So why we throw that buoy into the water?
To be lighter. It's for oceanographic research, to have more data for sure about the current, about the seawater temperature. It's for the knowledge of everybody, every people on the planet. So it's a good one to do.
Just hope it doesn't explode in here. There'll be some interesting data going back to NOAA. Instructions. Don't hold on to it. No, they know very little about this part of the world, so they're trying to get as much information as they can from the Volvo fleet, because we're some of the only idiots in the world to come down and hang out down here.
2, 3, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 117, 118
Thousands of kilometers away from the Southern Ocean, Team Vestas WIN's boat has arrived in Genoa, Italy. From there it will be transported to the Persico boatyard near Bergamo to repair the damage sustained when it hit a reef in the Indian Ocean.
In Malaysia, we're fortunate enough to have probably 3 days in between transshipping, and we use that opportunity to get guys down from QI, which do all the NDT, non-destructive testing, just trying to work out what of the structure is still good, what we can retain, what is obviously for the garbage bin. The NDT test, it was positive. We're able to find that there was still a lot of worth in the boat here. There's a few things that need to fall into place, but we should be able to use quite a bit of this boat in rebuilding what we bring back to the race.
For safety reasons, the boat makes its journey to the Persico boatyard overnight. And after a long trip, the damaged vessel arrives at its temporary home and the repair can begin.
I recommend you guys to get like a bucket and a sponge and some degrease. So we just got to get all the water out of here so that when the boat turns upside down, it's not.
It will remain a race to rejoin the race for everyone involved at Team Vestas WIN. Back on the water, Dongfeng race team is saying hello to an unexpected guest.
I have never seen that.
Seriously? That big. It's not that big.
It was a big forearm.
Never seen a flying fish that big. They tried to take out Pascal, but he's too quick.
Onboard Team Brunel, it's quiz time.
We have a new guy on board. It's Dirk the Ritter, Aka Cheese. So they say we have to trust him 100% because Southern Ocean, our lives in common, everybody has to trust each other. But first, to earn our trust, he has to do this little quiz.
Question 1. On which boat did I sail the Whitbread or the Volvo Ocean Races?
One with Volvo 60. Ilbrook. Part of Caribbean.
Yes, 3 boats.
3? What was the third? So I don't know. Ilbrook, part of Caribbean, then?
The first one was the Whitbread. You were still in diapers then, I think.
Merit Cup.
I think Merit, Elbrook and Parrot.
What do you think, Rukas?
Because you formed the question right.
What did Rukas say?
He missed Merit.
Question 2. What's the name of my dog?
I don't know.
Oracle. I don't know.
I have no idea.
It's Shaki.
Shaki!
It's Shaki.
Sharky.
Jibe.
A black Labrador. It's about 16 months old now.
All the sailors have Labradors.
Who more?
Bouwen.
Okay, you can get a bonus point if you know the name of Bauer's dog.
I've got 2. Better chances.
Oh. I should know. Hannibal.
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 That's
Who came up with that name?
That's Hannibal, one of the dogs.
that's correct.
Question 3. Why is my nickname Cheese?
Maybe he loves cheese.
The cheese comes from Holland. Everybody loves cheese.
Cheesecake. I don't know. It's probably something about Dutch and cheese. I'm not sure.
Because he's smelly as well, apparently. We just found out.
It's not cloggy, so it's cheese. Coming from Holland.
I think Jens won because of the bonus point, eh?
You didn't ask me the bonus question.
Yes.
What did I win with?
You win.
The cheese.
Thank you.
You happy?
No.
Why not?
I thought it was a big steak or something like that.
Leg 5 of the Volvo Ocean Race is famous for sailing in the legendary Southern Ocean. But opinions differ as to where it begins.
I think I'll know when we're in the Southern Ocean when my sphincter tightens up.
As far as I'm concerned, we've been there for days. This is easy.
When do I think we're in the Southern Ocean? I think we're in the Southern Ocean. When Stu and Will say we're in the Southern Ocean.
How do I know when I'm in the Southern Ocean? I asked this old dude. When are we in the Southern Ocean? 50, typically, I think.
Latitude 50, Will?
Yeah. I'm happy to give it to us at 45. We're at 40, nearly at 44, I think. See?
The sailors on board Dongfeng are wondering what all the fuss is about.
This is the Southern Ocean. They're like, what have you guys been talking about? Where is it? I told you there's no guarantee, maybe it's gone when we got here. We're too late. Global warming. Where is it going? Global warming, there's no more Southern Ocean. I don't know, it's quite light so far. But to me, always the worst part is always the last bit, so it's gonna count. Yeah, I'm gonna take my Formula gear off and get into my shorts.
As the boats move further and further away from land, Team Brunel emerge from the pack to take the lead. The conditions have now changed, and the Southern Ocean begins to live up to its reputation.
Day 6, Southern Ocean, 26 knots, 24 to 26 boat speed. Where the boys become man.
Is this what they call boat breaking conditions?
Yes. What do you think? Especially inside this.
As long as we haven't passed Cape Horn, always stay focused and be aware because we're in the Southern Ocean.
This condition is quite tough because the helm has a lot of load, especially with the waves, because the waves are moving the boats one side to the other, so it's quite tough. But for me, are the best conditions. It's so good. I enjoy a lot.
I guess it can be boat breaking conditions. The thing is, if you realize we're further away from land than we've ever been and that you can be in this world. I mean, everything we've sailed so far is 5-6 days. We have to sail again to get to shore. We want to keep things in one piece. We also want to win this race, so that gives you the pressure of the day.
It's just a matter of the balance between go fast and take care, no? Because still 5-6 days to get to Cape Horn, and probably will be like this. So the important thing is to get with the boat in one piece and safe, because otherwise we lose the leg.
The fleet is currently sailing between the latitudes of 40 and 50 degrees and taking advantage of strong winds. This region is more commonly known as the Roaring Forties.
The Roaring Forties, I would say that the main characteristic is the sea state. Normally, westerly winds have had all the Indian Ocean to create sea state, so wave heights can be very, very high. The conditions for the crew are normally very uncomfortable. It's cold, ranging air temperatures from 3 degrees to 15 degrees. It's obviously windy. Moisture is at maximum level. So inside the boat, you have like particles of water all around. Everything moves, shakes. You really need to hang on to something, because even if you are running downwind, you can have upwind waves, sidewind waves. If you want to go around the world and sail downwind, there's no other way but to sail in the Forties. I think it's really what defines the Volvo Ocean Race, and it's just magic.
The conditions might be good for sailing, but they also result in a number of problems for the crews to deal with.
very lucky not to lose the mast. Mid-sail change and the runner came off and managed to get the main sheet on and recovered the situation.
It's not just the mast runner that Abu Dhabi has to fix.
I think it's supposed to have a leak somewhere. I don't know where. Yeah, I guess we obviously got the escape hatch and the transom here, mainly for an inversion evacuation.
And so we're just clear, when you're talking about an inversion, what are you talking about?
When the boat's upside down. There's only one real scenario that kills that, and that's the keel falling off. Hope that doesn't happen.
The all-female crew of Team SEA must also carry out some running repairs.
We've got the radar off the rig at the moment, getting a little bit of love. There's a bit of operating error. Strings used to come out from the radar to protect it, so when we were attacking that we wouldn't risk losing the radar off the rig. And one of these bits of strings wrapped itself around the board, the dagger board upline, and as a result when we came to tack, we were effectively just winding the radar to a vertical position, which it's not designed for, and yeah, hence the damage that you can see to the plate and to the whole bracket itself. This is like a composite piece, and we've bent the metal fitting and done some damage to the laminate. So Lizzie, our super fix-it, is going to see what she can do to bring it back to life.
Hola! I'm going to go in and see the exhibition, yeah? This way? Super, thank you, gracias.
Back at Volvo Ocean Race headquarters, Team Vestas WIN onboard reporter Brian Carlin is in town to officially open a photo exhibition about the life of an OBR.
Yeah, the role of the onboard reporter is, I think it's missold, to be honest. You spend so little time doing the actual job that everybody thinks you do. It's a bit like when you go on Facebook and you see, this is what my mom thinks I do, this is what my friends think I do, but this is what I actually do. It's a bit like seeing that. It's a difficult role to be in often because you are alone and yet you're surrounded. But obviously then you get the moments where you build your relationship up with your crew and your team. You just can't go in there and take photographs of people. It's a very intimate space you're in, and you're in there for a very long time. You know, there's a lot of legs on this race, and you just can't go in with an attitude of, you build that relationship up with them and you earn their respect and the trust. And when they've accepted you as a crew member and not as a reporter, then you're able to do the reporting part of your job. And that's when you get the moments like we have here in the exhibition, where you can shoot and tell a story.
So it becomes pretty obvious soon into the race that you also become a lot more than just a reporter telling their stories. You're like a caring mother. You feed them, you make sure they're drinking enough water, and when the times are tough and when they're away from family and friends, you're there to listen and help them through the really difficult times.
Leg 5, the Southern Ocean, is one of those legs where you hate it, but you love it. You hate it because it's the most horrible experience of your life. You're probably going to be wet for 3 weeks, it's going to be cold, you're more than likely going to be sick 90% of the time, but it's one part of the world that very few people have gone to. And you also get the best opportunity to shoot both stills and video, the most incredible scenery and seas you'll ever see in your life. But at the same time, it's difficult, you know? I mean, even the management of your own personal kit itself is not an easy thing to do. The boat, because of the temperatures, it starts leaking on the inside. It starts dripping from the ceiling. So, you know, you're often in your bunk with a towel over your head because there's water constantly dripping on you. But also it's dripping on your laptop, and then you gotta try to keep your laptop dry, but you need to edit. And editing is not something that takes 2 minutes. It's like, could take an hour, 2 hours, depending. So you have all of these other elements which make it just extremely difficult. There's things happening around you all the time. Obviously you have to sleep, you have to do your other duties, but you kind of torn sometimes in what you're doing because there's this beautiful sunset in the background, and sometimes you don't know whether to do a live X call for people to see it. So often you're finding yourself, you're shooting, you're doing multiple tasks all at the same time. It's all going on. It's a juggling act. I really, really believe you could be an average photographer, you could be an average person at video or not even know. But remember, the OBR is not about producing the best photographs. It's not about producing the best video content. It's about telling the best story for the people. You need to be a people person and you need to have a high level of tolerance, and people will laugh. They will say, you don't have a high level of tolerance. But actually, when you get into the environment you're in, you learn to understand how to deal with people, and a degree in psychology or counselling, I reckon, would go a long way to becoming an onboard reporter.
Thousands of kilometers away, it's wet and wild as the Southern Ocean snarls. And as nighttime falls, life gets even trickier for the crew on board Dongfeng. The sailors are experiencing a Chinese jibe, an accidental jibe caused by either strong winds or a big wave in which the boat heels to windward. The mainsail slams over and the boat ends up on its side, with the keel keeping it down as it is now on the wrong side.
Am I going forward to get the rudder?
The crew manages to get their boat upright, but the stressful situation increases the tension on board.
Yeah, but he's connected. Connected is easy for him to train. I think we need to calm down a bit, guys. Yeah, everyone be a little bit nicer again.
We bent two stanchions, and except that, nothing was broken. So quite lucky on this one.
I would have been surprised by gust. While we were jibing, regarding the jibe, so we didn't increase. And the time to come on the day, to take the race, it was too late. We pushed too much.
When you do a Chinese jibe like that, at the beginning, the boat is going quite deep in the water, and I was under the water.
At that time I feel the boat is just already healing, and I just try to climb and first and check is there anybody around me, if I can help them, and yeah, that's the first thought, and the second thought, and be ready for if the boat really capsize or sinking, and I just think what should I do next, because I'm next to the left raft, and so I also talk with Black. I said prepare for knife, everything. If you have the rope around you or your left line with you, just be ready to cut or everything. Be ready for everything.
And with thousands of miles to go, the Southern Ocean has still plenty in store for Wolf and the rest of the sailors. Next week, more crews battle against the difficult conditions at sea.
Coming down a big wave, nose went in, a bit of a pitch pole.
The importance of safety on board has never been greater.
The water's really cold, and if somebody were to fall overboard, that'd be a serious life-threatening issue.
And one crew hits rock bottom.